Kirsten Liebelt. Jump on in. Oh my gosh, I didn't even grab my water. What am I even thinking? Okay, grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab whatever you have for our little morning session, our little show that we do. And if you do not know who I am, which is highly likely because there are 8 billion people on the planet, and this is just our little corner of the universe where we gather and we talk about insulin resistance. And Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, we do this. This is what we do unless it's like a holiday or I'm out of town. And we've been doing this, you guys, since like a year ago, February. Welcome in, TikTok people. Come on in. So if you're looking for like consistent and like, what's my word? Like trackable ability for your insulin resistance, this is where you need to belong. This is like, come on in. Let me know if you're on the replay. Let me know where you're coming in from. I always look forward to that. Next Monday in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Always make sure to give your email to get in. We'll have our 29th free 5-day challenge where we do ingredient trade outs and all the things. So like, don't miss out on that either, because I think that you would be so blessed. There are some of you that have done 14, 15, 16 challenges in a row. And what does that mean? That means that you've gone 14, 15, 16 months in a row of walking out your journey to turn things back around. You're not requiring your body to fix itself overnight. And you've like given your permission to prioritize yourself for a half a minute. Because listen, if you feel like trash, it makes it really hard to like serve other people or to be making memories with your family. This is the draw that I have. My dad died at 63, type 2 diabetic, putting 2 shots of insulin in his belly every day. And he was just a wreck. And he was only in his 50s. I was 30 when he died. So when I look back at that, of course, 50s look, you feel like that's so old. We all know better now, don't we? I'm at 60. So that was really young. But I watched his health tank. And he, we would go to I'm in Minnesota. So we'd go to the Mall of America and he'd have a scooter. And my kids were 6, 3, and 6 months old. And this literally happened 3 days. It was Tuesday night. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days before he died. And we went to the Mall of America and he had his scooter and one of the grandkids could like sit on his lap or whatever, but that was about it. The function was gone, right? He had been on dialysis for 2 years at that point. So he was very exhausted. He was very tired, right? Very tired of going through dialysis. It was hard on him. And that was after all the heart stuff. So my point being that, you can turn this around and you can actually like make forward momentum. So today what I want to talk about is I want to actually talk about the connection between insulin resistance and Billy says she can't, and your gut. I was going to finish the sentence. Billy says she can't wait until Monday. Woohoo! Me too. I love the challenges. And the reason why is because I know that if you will implement just 1 or 2 nuggets, you don't have to figure everything out at once. You can just you do a little bit at a time, and then we'll do October. We'll do the 5-day challenge. You'll take 1 or 2 little nuggets, and then you'll work on applying those in October. And then in November, we're going to do another one. And then you get to take 1 or 2 little nuggets, and then you get to apply them. And then in December, we're going to do another one. And we've been doing this over and over and over again for like 2.5 years. And the reason why that's so important is because, listen, success in anything you do, whether it's your marriage, your business, like I have a business team, all of that stuff, it doesn't just happen. You have to just chunk it out a little bit at a time. It is the compound effect. It is the slight edge. Those are books, by the way. It is the just one ingredient at a time, one recipe at a time, one social event at a time, and not giving yourself all the shame because you messed up a social event. None of that. Good morning, sweet lady Patty. Good to see you. Okay, so before we jump in, let's see. Last note is a customer campaign. If you are looking to take advantage of that, so many of you you stayed on course, man. You stayed on course, and I'm so excited for you because when you purchase 150 or more 3 months in a row, you get $75 off on the 3rd month. And so here we are, October, November, December. Who doesn't want to cash in December? So Marilyn, good morning from New York. Oh my gosh. Okay, so hold on. Marilyn has a testimony. Good morning from New York. My CGM is saying I'm at 100% in range. Wahoo! Still taking your meds, but we'll be cutting back before you know it. So happy. Thank you. I'm so excited for you, Marilyn. I'm going to screenshot that and I can post that. I'm so excited because this is literally, this is what it's all about. If you can grasp in your brain Just grasp it in your brain. This was never meant to be a terminal diagnosis. Just because my dad died from it doesn't mean it was supposed to be that way. Just because people die from the effects of type 2 diabetes doesn't mean that that's how it's supposed to go. And when you listen to people like Dr. Ken Berry, I just posted something in my stories from him this morning talking about 3 fruits that diabetics should never eat. Anyway, and he, when you grasp the concept from the doctors that will tell you like, this is 100% reversible. Like, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Like, listen to the third-party resources, but then collectively we can take back our own health. And so Marilyn is taking back her own health. You're becoming your own advocate. Like, you should be so proud of yourself. And that is, I know that the targeted supplementation makes like the biggest difference ever. It accelerates you into like where your CGM says that you are 100% in range. I'm so excited about that. Good morning, Megda. Barb from Ontario. Good to see you. Deborah. She says she loves my enthusiasm. I'm so inspiring. Thank you, Geraldine. Good to see you, Peggy from Myrtle Beach. Oh, I may or not be just like super jealous. I didn't realize you lived in Myrtle Beach. Oh, man. I just want to be south. I'm in Minnesota. So all of you southern people, I have so many customers in Florida. I think that God brought you to me just so that you could like breathe sunshine on me throughout the winter as we do this. I'm sure that that's what that is. Okay, let's jump in so that people don't miss out on information. We just are here for a short period of time. I always try to just bring you as much as I can about what insulin resistance is doing to your body so you have understanding, because I'm convinced that you will stay consistent when you understand what's actually happening and then how to actually fix it. And I will go through like some of the products for you when we get done. And I'm going through the products just as a little FYI, anybody that is needing it, the Glucose Health is temporarily out of stock and I have my inventory. So never forget that I've got your back. If you're needing it, you have to just message me and then we make a little transaction through Venmo and I ship it off to you. Do not be without the things that are really making the difference in your world if you are in need of it. And you may not be right now. You may have like just ordered and you're good. I just want that out there into the universe so that you guys can just know that I've got your back on that. Okay. So your gut is literally talking to you every single day. We all have like the digestive issues that you guys talk to me about. I even just had my own experience this last weekend and I'll share that story here in just a minute. But, we're bloated after we eat, we're running for the bathroom, or we're constipated and we're living on coffee and laxatives. And like, this is no bueno. This is not a good way to live at all. Right. And none of it is normal. This is not normal. And yet so many women over 50 assume that it's just their age. But what if it's not? What if it's not? What if it's insulin resistance and a gut that's crying out for help before the holidays even begin? And this is what made me think of all of this today. So I went out of town last weekend for a business conference and I brought my gut primer with me. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. And I did all of the things, whatever. But the one thing that I didn't do super well, 2 things. I did not drink the water I was supposed to drink, just in general. Like, I was traveling, I was in a conference, I should have been drinking. Like, I drink all day long here, right? Why wasn't I drinking? I just got off schedule. And number 2, I had run out of my digestive enzymes. And I wasn't really thinking about it because I'm so like normal in my digestion. I think I've gotten to the point where I do a few things like proactively, and then I don't realize what they were doing for me. I hope that makes sense. So those were a couple of things. And so I was like, I had slower motility and I was just like, oh my gosh, like what the heck? This is not my life. I don't like this life. And I couldn't wait to get back home and get myself back on track, which I am. So I'm really happy about that. But maybe for you, it's like you finally put on the outfit that you've been saving and you feel like you're 6 months pregnant because your bloat is so freaking unreal. Like, you're like, how is this happening? And that's a little bit of what I felt like last weekend. I felt like my bloat was just way off. And I was like, what is going on? And I wasn't happy about that. That's not normal for me. Maybe you've been good all day with your eating And then like at 8 p.m., you're rummaging through the pantry because the food noise is so relentless. And we talked about that a couple of days ago, about how food noise is actually a sign of insulin resistance. Maybe you skip the scale because you can't even bear to see the number after a week of constipation. And I'm going to be honest, I think you should skip the scale if you've had a week of constipation. Like, come on, don't make this harder on yourself, people. I got rid of my scale like, I don't even know, 7, 8 years ago, because I measure. And it was just, that's a whole conversation on its own. That's a whole different conversation. But, again, that point being that the scale is measuring what? Water weight, impacted waste, like, and it's messing with your brain all at the same time. Like, that's not helpful, right? Maybe you tell yourself it's just stress, but your skin, your sleep, and your mood are all out of whack. Your skin, your sleep, and your mood. Okay. Maybe those are all out of whack. But now here we are, we're like positioned, like here come the holidays, like a freight train, right? Like it's coming fast. I mean, we're already into pumpkin spice latte land. And then the next land that we stop on our little Candyland trip is, Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and all of the social events, right? And every event has massive amounts of carbs and sugar, wine, family stress, right? And it stacked right on top of each other. And it just is really it's positioned to make it harder for any level of a fragile gut. Julie says, who's out of whack? I'm not telling, Julie. I am not telling. I don't know, Julie, is it you? Because you're not in Europe? Is that that's going on? You're like a little off balance because you're not in Greece? Maybe that's what your deal is, Julie. I don't know. But this is what's happening. So this is like insulin resistance and gut combined. This is what's going on. Oh, Peggy says, oh, Peggy, you're not very nice. Okay, hold on. So Caroline from Scotland. Nice to meet you, Caroline. Good morning, Jackie. Good to see you. Peggy, you're at the beach for 12 days. Oh, I see how you roll. Okay. Rub that in. I just love the beach. I love the ocean so much. Am I bloated or simply fat in the belly? Jody, probably are you having a hard time differentiating? Is that what you're saying? Because that could be. Good morning, Sharon, my Canadian friend, next to Barb. Barb's my other Canadian friend. By the way, just as a little side note, if you are in Canada and you are going to purchase anything from me, will you please ask me for my Canadian link? Because I have a specific link for you. And you're going to need that. Okay. So I just want you to know that. Like, I got you. Anyway, so Jody, it can be both. It can be both. And I think that bloating, oftentimes we will notice that, like if your belly is already big and you're working to get rid of your belly fat. And I think, was it yesterday we did insulin versus cortisol belly? I think we did that yesterday. So you've got the belly up on top here underneath your rib cage. That's more cortisol belly. Way down below, it's your insulin belly. We talked about that, right? That's like going to take a little bit of time. But then on top of that, maybe you eat food and you're like, wow, why am I more distended? Or why do I wake up and I can look in the mirror and I look one way to the side, but by, nighttime, I'm more protruded. I'm more distended. That's the bloat part of everything, right? So that's kind of how you know the difference. And I would venture to say we're dealing usually with both because we have the gut issues because let's go right back to that conversation. Insulin resistance creates gut issues. So again, that trunk of the tree right here, insulin resistance, and all of the branches come off of this trunk. And those are the things that are driving you bonkers. That's where you are like, you can't sleep at night and you are exhausted and you have leaky gut. Julie says she'll join you, Peggy, at the beach. We're all going to Myrtle Beach. Let's go. Would that be fun to do like a little retreat at the beach in the middle of winter? Holy, I'd be so down for that. But this is what happens. So your gut motility slows down with insulin resistance. So you're like, oh, I'm constipated. Yep. Because gut motility slows down. Constipation, gas, heaviness, like that's your insulin resistance kind of like screaming at you, like red flags, right? Dysbiosis, bad bacteria overgrowth. This is thriving when your insulin is high. And remember how we talk about how, yep, you can have sugars that are in range and you keep getting your labs tested and they're like, no, they tell me I'm okay. They tell me I'm okay. But over here, what they're not testing is your insulin, which is a hormone, and your insulin is way up here. And so you're insulin resistant. You do not know it. Most of you don't even know it. Now you do if you're type 2, you're pre-diabetic, you're automatically insulin resistant. That's just, it's all of it is the same. But now all of a sudden, maybe you just didn't know prior that you had all of this high insulin, which equals high inflammation. And that is literally driving your cravings, your bloating, your brain fog. This is where all those symptoms come in. And you're like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I think straight? Why can't I multitask? Right? Why am I so bloated all the time? It's because you're needing to get your insulin down. And it's one thing that most people do not talk about. It's the hormone insulin and the hormone cortisol. You got to get these down so that your body can function. And we wait way too long until it shows up in our sugars. That's what is happening. So then there's your liver and your gut connection, your sluggish liver. What do I talk about all the time? High insulin, sluggish liver, keeping you from burning fat. But this is just a gut conversation. So your sluggish liver equals poor bile flow. Okay. Harder to digest your fats. You know this if you've had your gallbladder removed, right? You already know this is true. And then you have digestive discomfort. Okay. And then the last one is your stress. So if your stress is high and you're calling on cortisol all the time, your gut permeability, your leaky gut, it gets worsened by your insulin resistance. Oh, Marilyn says she's in love with Myrtle Beach. Oh, man. You guys. Yeah. How does aspartame affect insulin? That is such a good question. Hold on. Let me actually just look something up here for you quickly. I want to answer that because that is a good question. But aspartame is not good for your gut. And I'm going to say this too. I personally, so we all know that, different sweeteners can have different effects on our digestive system because, like, for instance, inulin is a prebiotic fiber and we want inulin for a lot of different reasons, but sometimes it's added as extra into things and for sweetness because it has a sweetness to it. And the thing is that sometimes that can then create digestive discomfort. So I found myself really staying away from certain things that I know aren't they're not messing my gut, but they're just making me feel uncomfortable and I'm not in the mood anymore. Like I'm just kind of done with that. So like, for instance, I can do stevia and not have an issue, but if I do too much allulose, that's not the best for me, right? So you have to know things for yourself like that is kind of what I'm saying. So let's see here. Aspartame itself doesn't raise blood glucose like sugar does. It breaks down, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if it'll tell me. Some studies suggest that aspartame or aspartame, which however you pronounce it, may still stimulate an insulin response through the gut-brain axis. Sweet taste receptors in the mouth and the gut can trigger cephalic phase insulin release. For some people, this could mean a small rise in insulin even without a glucose rise. So yeah, it's possible. But I think that, so this is the bigger piece though with aspartame. It may alter it alters the gut microbiome in ways that worsen glucose tolerance and insulin sensitivity long-term. So maybe there's not that much of a rise, but it's messing with your tolerance for glucose and your insulin sensitivity. So here you are trying to become insulin sensitive because remember, insulin resistance means that your cell, which needs energy to function, your cell is now resistant to having insulin bring glucose inside of it so that you have fuel for your body. So you are resistant. You want your cell, because it's a cellular conversation and it's a hormonal conversation because insulin and cortisol are hormones. You want your cell to be receptive You want your cell to be sensitive to insulin and glucose. So if you're doing something to your gut that makes it harder for your cell to be more sensitive, then that's why sometimes we feel like we're just swimming upstream so much. And that's why I think probably one of the number one things that you guys do grab from me is the gut primer. And I'll just share that with you here in just a second. It's like the number one thing, because all of us have digestive issues that we are trying so much to recalibrate so that everything else can function. It's kind of like, if the engine in your vehicle, if you crack the block on your engine, which I literally have no idea what that means. I'm just telling you the terminology. If you crack the block on your engine, you're not going to be able to fix anything else. Like, I think you're kind of done for. I think you're a little gonzo on that one. But it's the same thing with your gut. If you keep trying to put Band-Aids all over your body, it makes it really hard for other things to fall in line. I hope that makes sense. You're trying to quit Coke Zero, but so many changes, wondering if you should have a meal or if it spikes in between. It doesn't sound like the spike is the issue. It sounds like the disruption to your gut is the issue. It's keeping you from being insulin sensitive. So then what I would say is, okay, so Vicki, like for instance, have you ever tried Zevia? Zevia is a stevia drink. I actually have in my line, some of you grab them from me. I have an energy, it's an energy drink. It's more like a functional drink. It has 0 calories and lots of B vitamins, etc. Lots of flavors, like my favorite syrup beer. And so sometimes people are doing that instead of, even though of course soda is dirt cheap for a reason. So this is a functional drink. So this is different. It's a different price point. However, having something like that on hand, and then in January, they are launching, and I'll tell you about it when it comes. They are launching I'm trying to remember the flavor. I don't remember. They're going to launch a couple of functional drinks. One of them is going to have some adaptogenic herbs in it, but they're going to be sweetened with stevia. So there are things out there in the land that could take the place of some of those sodas and things like that. You are so welcome, Vicki. Yeah, I just, it's a big deal, right? It's a big deal to trade things out. And I get the habit portion of it. It's your treat. It's your whatever. I get all of that. I'm not confused by that at all. Okay. All right. So thanks for asking for that though. So the things that, just as a recap quickly, your insulin resistance and your gut, and what's happening is, number one, it is slowing down your gut motility, meaning constipation, gas, and heaviness. Number two, dysbiosis. It's creating bad bacteria overgrowth because your insulin is high. And so your bad bacteria overgrowth, it's thriving on high insulin. It's like so excited to have high insulin. So therefore you have worse cravings, you have more bloating, and you have more brain fog. Number three, your liver and your gut connection. Your sluggish liver means that you have poor bile flow, and it's making it harder for you to digest fats, and you have digestive discomfort, and especially for somebody who has their gallbladder removed, and now this is exacerbated. Now you can still don't be confused. Like if you listen to somebody like Dr. Ken Berry or Maria Emmerich, without a gallbladder, you can still become fat adaptive, and you can fix all of this. But let's get into the gut first. Like let's get down into your gut first, and then you're going to have a better chance of getting all of that functioning for you. And then the last one was stress and cortisol, which is like creating your leaky gut. And so you have like holes. The best way I can say it is like Swiss cheese in the lining of your gut. Insulin resistance is Swiss cheese holes, and you're just leaching toxins into your bloodstream, and you're leaching nutrients right out. So you think you're taking in good nutrients, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So you have very low nutritional absorption, and this is affecting now every aspect of your body, and your insulin resistance is just making it worse and worse and worse. So you kind of have this whole cycle going on. So the things that you can actually do to change these pieces of your world, it's not about cutting out every single food. That's not what it's about. It's about giving your gut the reset that it's been begging for. And let's do this before the holidays. Like, don't you feel like wow, if I could get my feet under me before the holidays and maybe have a couple of tools in my toolbox, like I just promise you, I will help you navigate the holidays to the best of my ability. And it's only because it took me 3 to 4 years to figure out a few things. So we'll do the 5-day challenge in October, November, December. And every time that we do those and we go through the ingredient tradeouts and all that stuff, um, we'll do a recipe, and then you can maybe have something better available for you for the social events. But let's get a handle on our gut now before Thanksgiving comes. Give yourself time to like be prepared. There's so many of you that will be in October. I was doing my tallies. I was doing all of my papers and stuff. There's so many of you that will be taking advantage of the customer campaign in October. Like you're ready to cash in October, because you did August and September of the 150 or more. And now in October, you're going to cash in. And I know exactly how many people are doing. I'm like so excited for you because you are now you've been setting yourself up for the holidays already. So you can remove the constant gut irritants. If you can wrap your brain around, if you can actually get it through your head that all grain is a gut irritant. I don't care if it's called keto bread. That means nothing. I don't even care if it says it's gluten free. You have been indoctrinated to believe that gluten is the issue, that the grain is fine. It's just the gluten in the grain. But I'm here to tell you that as an insulin resistant person, if we're going to have this conversation, we are talking about not spiking our sugars and calling on insulin all the freaking time. And if you're eating gluten-free oats and gluten-free bread and gluten-free wheat, and that it doesn't matter, you're eating grain. Grain is a top-notch irritant to your gut. Sugar, obviously, so we don't do sugar, so get rid of that. And then some of those fake sweeteners, just like we were talking about with aspartame and stuff, right? Or like for me, now allulose is a good sweetener. It is a plant sweetener. It actually is showing in studies to bring down blood sugar. I just am careful not to do too much of it because it kind of just makes me all kind of like gurgly and I don't like it. Doesn't mean it's bad for my gut. I think allulose as a plant sweetener is okay. I just don't like the effect. So just become a person who assesses things, right? Number 2, support your gut lining and your digestion. That literally is, I'll show you the gut primer and probiotics and digestive enzymes. Like that's what we're talking about, okay? Number 3, add insulin smart foods and supplements to keep your blood sugar from crashing and spiking. So remember the free protein blueprint that I talked to you guys about? It's on my site, which is my first last name.com. And so Kirsten Liebelt.com, and you'll see the free protein blueprint there. That is so that you figure out how to eat protein at a high level that does not spike your sugars. So instead of thinking that you're going to get your protein from grain or legumes, you're going to get your protein from meat and eggs. And just think for just a second. We talk about bone broth being amazing for your gut, right? Healing. And we want to support the healing and the sealing of your gut. Well, meat and eggs will do the exact same thing. Good fats, high nutritionally dense, like beef is so nutritionally dense. And actually your body recognizes real food as opposed to processed grains. So we have to shift our thinking. We have been duped. All of this processed food that they keep telling us, eat me because I'm high in protein. Eat me because I'm healthy for your heart. Eat me because blah, blah, blah. I will lower your cholesterol. If it's processed, you're just going to have to pick up that box of Cheerios and go BS and put it back on the shelf. You're just going to have to go, no, I'm not going to get all of my protein from grains and mess up my gut and spike my sugars and call on insulin and keep getting fatter. I'm not going to do that anymore. We've been duped. We've been marketed to. It's just the way that it is. Sometimes we just got to wake up and pay attention to that, right? And then the last one is you've got to calm your stress. This is a really challenging one. It is challenging. We have a lot going on in our world. We have access on our phones to information that we should probably not have access to 24/7. Our spirits were not designed to see the images that we see. Our spirits were not designed to have constant spikes of cortisol going on. And then we wonder, like yesterday, remember when we talked about like cortisol belly up underneath your rib cage, if your belly is big and tight right up there, that's cortisol. So you have to calm your stress loop. So eat a lot of protein before noon. Take magnesium. Use adaptogens. Like I do everything I talk to you about, I do it all. I even do more than what I talk to you about because I'm very targeted towards what my body needs, and I'm not trying to overwhelm anybody. I just want you to know that you literally can shift things and make such a difference. So for instance, now when it comes to magnesium, I don't even have those to show you. Do I have those? I wasn't planning on talking about those, but for the stress loop, for anybody who cares or wants to know, see, I don't even think I have my ashwagandha in here. Do I? I think I took them all. Oh, no, there's one. Oh, there's another one. Okay. So, hold on. That's not what I want. I want these. So I have, and I got to be careful on the tickety talk. I keep getting violations. So I take 2 magnesium. I have to be careful. I take 2 magnesium and I take 2 ashwagandha every single night. And the reason why I do that is the magnesium is a triple blend. It's going to help my nervous system. But it's also a glycinate. It's going to like help me to fall asleep. And I love that feeling. Magnesium is such a simple fix. You just have to take the right kinds. Such a simple fix for things not firing in our body. Ashwagandha, it's God's gift. It's God's gift. It's a plant that helps with stress, mood, and sleep. Okay. That's just a little side note for anybody that wants help with their stress. And you can always reach out to me and I'll help you with that. Okay, now let's just talk about your gut. And that's what I'm going to wrap up with today. I'm actually not even going to go through the total body reset. I'm going to talk to you just about your gut today. And the reason why is because, listen, if you have gut issues and you need to get that in order before the holidays or whatever, or you just know that, like, one of the things that happened to me last weekend when we were out of town was, I'm eating different when I go out of town. It doesn't mean I'm eating off plan. It just means I'm eating different. Like I'm eating different foods. I'm eating maybe more nuts. I'm eating more whatever. I'm just more free, right? Right. My bumper guards are different, right? And so your gut might react and kind of go, whatever. And then you're like, you maybe have more constipation and you're like, what's going on, etc. So I found myself doing a couple of things this last weekend. And again, user error because I was not drinking my water. And that was a really big piece of the puzzle. But the first thing I'll just talk to you about is the fact that I had been out of my digestive enzymes. So if you need a really good digestive enzyme, I have one. And I was out of that. That's not a good thing to be out of. So that's the first thing that I'll just mention to you is because your body produces less and less digestive enzymes as you get older. Okay. So that's just a piece of the puzzle. And then the next one, I feel like I'm missing some things. Hold on. Let me see. Shirley Girl says, I'm so thankful I found you last month. I'm so thankful for you too, Shirley. If you guys don't know, my mom's name was Shirley. So I love that. Patty says she loves Zevia for anybody who wants to do that. Interesting. Alonia says that natural flavors spike her glucose, like flavored coffee beans. Oh my goodness, Alonia. Isn't that interesting? And Shirley, you're from Ohio. I love that. Peggy. Yes, your family laughs at. I don't have to repeat all that. But yes, there is hope for you. There is, Peggy. And if you're already not grain, sugar, and legume free, start there. But if I'm not mistaken, you probably do have the gut primer. So yes. Good questions, you guys. Hold on. My messages kind of just went up here. Hold on. Oh, digestive enzyme. It literally is. So, okay. My site, Deborah, I can send you Denise, I'm seeing Deborah and Denise. Denise, I can send you a link for the digestive enzyme if you want me to. However, my website is right here on Facebook and YouTube, kirstenliebelt.com. So you could go there and you could look on any of the product carts. And then when you're on my website, just put digestive enzymes into the search bar. You could do that. Otherwise, I will jump off and I will send you a link for that just so that you know. What is the total magnesium recommendation for the day if you are taking more than one? You don't want to OD. That's good. That's a good question. Patty, are you taking my magnesium or are you taking a different magnesium? Because that kind of matters what you're taking, right? And then hold on, I will do this. Let me look this up. There we go. Yeah, just let me know. So digestive enzyme would be the first thing that I would talk to you about, because again, that really is frustrating if you feel like you are not digesting your foods very well. So general magnesium dose guidelines, just to let you know, women 31 and up, 320 a day milligrams. For insulin resistance, a functional doctor might recommend 400 to 600. The one that I do is just right in the regular range. So you could always take more if you wanted to. Hold on. Let me click on my proper tab to get back to you. There we go. And another for your heart. Okay, very, very good. And what's really cool, Patty, is so taking two, the dosage on that, it recommends to take 2 at night or 2 whenever. It does not say night. I do night. 2 a day. And I would have to look on the bottle to see what the dosage is on that. I don't think you're going to OD on that at all. And I'm going to tell you why. First, I'll tell you that the magnesium that you're taking, that you and I are both taking, right, that actually has an extract, an olive extract for your heart. So you're getting probably really good help. And I'm very excited about that. So, but I will tell you this. So I was just having this conversation with somebody about dosing supplementation, and they were asking me about, I'm going back in my head here. Let me stay on track, and then I'm going to give you something here. So, okay, for your gut, for anybody who wants to recalibrate their gut so that you can just listen to me and then you can jump off if you have to go back to work or whatever. The digestive enzyme, I would highly recommend adding that to your thought process. The gut primer, this is where you have the 6 different blends, and this is what is helping. Like, it's probably the number one thing that I do have you guys take advantage of. It's a scoop that you put in water. Does not taste like chocolate. I'm so sorry. It tastes like green tea, turmeric-y, gingery, not my fave, whatever. But what's in there is so comprehensive. And it is the supporting of the healing and the sealing of your gut. And most people, you might be taking greens products and putting them in your smoothies or whatever, but this is literally a gastrointestinal primer, and will help the nutritional absorption, will help that leaky gut, will help the gut motility, will help everything. I actually was doubling up on this over the weekend because I just wasn't drinking enough water, yada, yada, yada. So I found myself doing that, and thank the Lord that I just had this on me, because I sit and sit and sit. There's so much sitting. Between driving and then being in conference and stuff, I just had a lot of sitting. So primer, digestive enzyme, and then your probiotic. And this is what I would recommend if somebody's you're trying to get yourself, like, your feet under you for the holiday season. This is a great place to start. Okay. So I just want to put that out there. These are 5 live strains that you just put on your tongue. And I already did mine for this morning. And you just do that every single day. They are alive. There's like a stick to the gut technology. They're stay alive technology. Like, you don't want to be taking live organisms and then they don't even do what they're supposed to do. Don't ever take this with like coffee or anything hot. Okay. But these are the things that I would talk to you about. So if you need to recalibrate your gut, just reach out to me or go to my site, my first last name.com. And at the very top, I have to be careful because this is where I get flagged on the tickety talk. The gut reset is right there at the top. So when you go to my site, my first last name.com, without showing TikTok, just hold on, I'll kind of get to you. You'll see my picture right there. And at the very top, you'll see these 4 choices. This third choice right there is the gut reset. That's going to be the probiotic and the primer, and then you can just add the digestive enzyme in the search bar. And then there are free resources here for you, free few things. And then all of my contact information is down here. So always know that you can do that. Okay, good to know, Patty. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. I feel like I just missed a comment somewhere in there. That's okay. I will look when I get off. Billy is saying, rule of thumb, if you take too much, you'll have loose stools. So back off a dose. And that does depend on what form you're taking too. I mean, that is kind of true, right, Billy? But oftentimes people will think like, I need to take a magnesium. So you'll go buy a magnesium citrate, and that's just going to help you poop, which isn't a bad thing, but that's not the same as doing a glycinate, a malate, different blends, etc. So that's the gut reset that I would talk to you about before the holidays. Like, have digestive enzymes maybe just available to you. So when you do go to somebody's house, if you know that there's going to be foods that cause issues, you can help your digestion immediately. I take the gut primer every single morning. I take 1 scoop in cold water. I just did mine this morning in cold water out of my fridge, and I take it like a wellness shot. I've got a little bit left. It's just very green tea-esque. And then my probiotic I take in the morning as well. So that's what I would say about that. I'm going to go back to the dosing for just a second, just because I'll wrap up with this. Somebody was asking me about dosing one of I know what it was. We were talking about, the one that is temporarily out of stock because it's so freaking popular. So that's the glucose product. It's a part of the trio. And if you need it, you were like, I was going to order that today. I have inventory and we can figure it out. But it's just a capsule. Okay. It's just a capsule. And basically what it is helping you with is it is helping to bring down your insulin and your sugars, etc. Well, I have a friend who a year ago, and I kind of didn't bring this to you guys very much over the last year, just because I always want to be careful in how I just want to be able to tell you a story and then you can make your own decision. So she chose to take 2 of these every time she ate because her insulin resistance was high and she eats more of a Mediterranean diet. And so she would take 2 every time she ate, and she had such incredible results from doing that. And she lost like 40 pounds within a few months. And it's because she was bringing down her insulin and her sugar. She was taking a lot of the other things that I'm already talking to you about. So when you think about the total body reset, that's like, yes, she was just taking an extra one of these with it. And they are more is not always better. Having the Texas approach thought process is not always bigger is better when it comes to supplementation. You actually want somebody who is science-backed and third-party tested, and making sure that they're not just saying, look at how high our dose is, we're amazing. And I have found that to be true over the last 14 years since I started taking from this line the adaptogenic herb that helped me to multitask, that helped me to get rid of my brain fog, that helped to balance out my hormones at the time. I didn't know it was going to do that because I didn't understand adaptogenic herbs, but I was taking a dose according to a book, and I found it to be amazing. And so if anything, they're going to undersell, but the results are going to be like, think about all of you guys and the results that you're getting. Like, they're so amazing. Like the testimonies, I literally can't keep up with testimonies from you guys. I'm only one person, and I'm not joking. If you looked in my camera roll right now, you'd be like clean it up. I have so many screenshots. I have so many testimonies that I've tried to capture into Google Sheets and whatever. So the testimonies are already there, because the efficacy and the potency of the products, and they come from organic farms. And so they're actually working in your body. They're actually producing results. But for me, I ended up doubling up on an adaptogenic herb, which I would never walk around and just tell people to do that willy-nilly. I think that if you're taking a product that's an adaptogenic herb and it is not third-party tested and you don't know the source of that plant, et cetera, you could be This is my opinion. You could be harming your liver. You could be harming processes in your body. Like, don't just make crap up. This is not a regulated industry. So you have to rely on a company saying, we have scientists backed by scientists, backed by scientists, backed by scientists, backed by third-party testing. Because we will not ruin our reputation, and we want the positive results and not the negative results. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So then when it comes to this one, the glucose one, to double up on that, has proven through testimony that helps a lot, right? So I just want to say that, like, this now goes to Patty saying, because she's like, I'm taking another one for my heart. Am I ODing? Most likely not. Okay, now you can always ask your doctor, or you can always, look it up on ChatGPT, do your own research, right? Go look up Dr. Eric Berg and whatever, right? Because, I'm just your friend, right? But because they do not push the envelope on dosing, like, we're the highest, we're the most, that's not what they're doing. I've over and over again, I have found that people are like, actually, because you're so in range, you're not easily like overdoing things, because they are very specific to stay in range and to stay in very safe standards. So I hope that makes sense to somebody. I don't know if anybody needed to hear that, but this has just been my own experience, because I was nervous for a very long time about kind of messing with a few things as I was researching. And then I realized, oh no, that actually then did produce the result that I was looking for. So just to kind of let you know. Anyway, all right. So tomorrow we'll be back again at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you need any of the Glucose Health out of my inventory, you have to let me know, because literally it's first come, first serve when it's temporarily out of stock. And then on Monday, we have the 5-day challenge at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time in the group. The group is Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You do have to give your email to get in there. But we'll start the challenge on Monday. And I just know you'll be so blessed by that. You'll be blessed by that track to run on. You'll be blessed by just having somebody take the week to just explain a little bit at a time. You walk away with a couple of nuggets to implement, and then you're like happy about it, right? And then beyond that, what else was I going to say? If you want like the primer, the probiotic, go to my site, kirstenliebelt.com. Okay, go to my site. It's right at the top, one of the top buttons. And then when you're on the site, if you want to add in digestive enzymes, you can do that. And if you're not, Joan, you're so nice. She says, thank you, friend. You have answered lots of questions that have popped up. You are a peach. I'm a peach, Joan. You're so sweet. If you are brand new to me, make sure that you register with your name as a customer, like for your free account. Don't check out as a guest. It's my gift to you to tell you that. Don't check out as a guest. You're not going to get the best shipping. You're not going to get in on the customer campaign should your order be $150 or more. Don't miss out on that. You're not going to get a thank you or a good sample from me, because I won't be able to see your info. So check out as a registered customer and cash in on all of the goodies. Like, get the good stuff. Get the good stuff, okay? When will it be back in stock? You may need a bottle. Marilyn, I wish I knew. I don't know. Oftentimes it goes temporarily out of stock, and then they'll give you a date. So this just happened like last night. It's fresh. So I'm waiting for the site to show me a date. But I can always set aside one for you and just wait to hear. So like, we don't have to, you're good. But I'm like, anyway, we know this is not our first rodeo, girls. It's not our first rodeo. It is a very, very, very popular product. And I'm not making it up when I say that the last time this happened, there were some of you that when it came back in, you ordered 7. I'm not making that up. That's just the way that it goes. It's, it's not an expensive product, and it is very effective. So very helpful. Okay, Marilyn, I will do that. Okay, Alonia, I will do that. I'll set aside for you, and I'll just reach out to you guys and see if that's what, whatever. And again, also too, I don't know when you guys specifically, I don't know when you ordered last or how you're, because maybe it'll be back in stock by the next time you're ordering. I don't know, but I'll set things aside. So have the best day ever on the face of the planet. Enjoy your Thursday. If you need anything, you know where to find me. Messenger and DMs and all of the things. And I'm going to go try to catch up on my messages. I'm a little behind, but we're doing good. All right. Have a good day, you guys. See you later.